lot of people who've been standing here since 4, 8 o'clock in the morning. You are not special. Get to the back.
I hear you.
Yes. Everybody cheer. Cheer. Woo!
Some of us want me to tell them.
That's my remote look.
Good.
Yes,
We just powered it off. I want to talk to you on the island You should stick Mike to talk.
Hello, Donald. Where are you? You're late. 3 minutes late. Some of the press call rather than argument just like, who do you think you are? You're not special. Can you hear me over it, Jay? I wonder if he talks about the 25th Amendment. Oh, yeah, freedom. Yeah, that's true. It's probably discussing the 25th Amendment. I did see the 20 points that Iran gave in. I'm looking for them now. Oh, they're going quiet. Oh, no. Hi, Rob.
What's up?
What's that? He did do the lead bird nest. He did do. They were some mad tweets he was doing, mad whatever, Truth Social tweets, weren't they? They was mad. Yeah. Trump is Chabad Lubavitch. But is he accepting the Shahada? Does anybody else think he's lost his mind? And the Colonel was a bionic man, wasn't he? $110 in a day.
Thank you very much.
Oh, there he is.
It's a great honor to be with you, and happy Easter. We had a great Easter. This is one of our better Easters, I think, in a lot of different ways. I can say militarily, happy Easter. It's been one of the best. So, good afternoon. We have quite a bit to discuss. We'll go into pretty good detail. And we have the people that are most involved. We'll give you exactitude. And we're here today to celebrate the success of one of the largest, most complex, most harrowing combat searches. I guess you would call it a search and rescue mission ever attempted by the military. Generally, when planes are knocked down in war, especially when you're fighting a strong group, an evil group, you can't really do this because you send in 200 men to pick up one, and it's something that's usually not attempted as much as you want to attempt. And bad things happen to that one or two. And in this case, we did two, and might not have been attempted before, but we did. And we had great talent. We got a little luck too, I would say.
Yeah, Netflix, if we make the movie out of it, it'd be called Black Hawk Down again, wouldn't it?
And we were helped by a lot of people, a lot of great people. And it was an honor to.
And we tried to get the yellow cake. We tried to get it, but I don't know. Our planes didn't take off.
Be involved with it. It's very historic. This is a rescue that's very historic. It'll go down in the books. Late Thursday night, an American F-15 fighter jet went down deep inside enemy territory in Iran while participating in Operation Epic Fury, where we're doing unbelievably well, well at a level that nobody's ever seen before. The entire country could be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft.
Oh, come on.
He
said Tuesday, didn't he?
On Iranian soil. I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever was necessary to bring our brave warriors back home. A risky decision, because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Those our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. The most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast. He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within inside of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot. Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained to do in order to evade capture. They want to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing, amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper type apparatus that is on them at all times.
Very sophisticated beeper.
When they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout. And he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher and really very, very hard to find. The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas. So we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening to these great people, these great generals, General Raisin Kane, who's amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing, but I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality, and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15 weapons system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes. It carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains. And we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand. So we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane. And then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes. And they got pretty well bogged down. And we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't want anybody to have, we have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up. And we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able to land on the sand. We needed the bigger planes because we had so much equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used.
I don't want to interrupt that, though.
Lived without them. They performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes. And that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all 3 of them in a matter of less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people. Who would think it would take 5 days to build them? And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well. But they served us well. As Commander-in-Chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. The sand this was not much of a runway. This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine right in the middle? This was central. This was right, you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. 1 load out, 1 load out, 1 load out. It happened, and we were watching, and we said, "That's amazing." It's in many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that if we would have had a runway or decent soil. But it was an amazing thing. But we thank God for every single one of them. And the talent, the genius is not even talent, it's genius. It's the whole ball game, every one of them. If you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, a massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quickly. And within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group. Incredible. We have incredibly talented people. And if the time comes, we move heaven and earth to bring them home safely. We're going to bring our people home safely. I want to thank every member of the U.S. Armed Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. And you'd understand it. Not that they don't want to do it, but when you're going into areas, when you look at these helicopters, when you look at the amount of bullets and everything else that they took, when you go into these areas, you don't come out like we came out. God was watching us. I tell you, well, it was the Easter. We were in the Easter territory, I guess, but God was watching us. Amazing, because when you look at the machinery, they took damage. Tells you, first thing I said is these are unbelievable machines. How they flew back and not even much of a problem. But these two extraordinary rescues, because it was two, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever we think we'll be able to find it out, because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do. Because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation.
CENTCOM gave the information to Fox News. Well, I don't know what he's going on about. That's under XF, that is.
Because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker, because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that the person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security, and the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say, and that doesn't last long. And I think everybody understands.
He was there just now.
Great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in. Over the past 37 days.
You mean that man that wasn't a war? What do you call him? War dodger. My bone splints, my bone spurs.
America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft downed by the enemy in this entire operation, with thousands and thousands of flights. They got lucky. It was a lucky hit. You know, eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky too, because we got both of them back. But it's a record that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we say, come on, let's go, get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a runway, with wet, crummy soil, sand, mostly sand, wet sand, and it eats planes alive. And we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. And they came in like magic. Boom, 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 one after another. It was like,
tell the truth, you was after the yellow cake.
Because we were a little concerned. We said, boy, if they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane, but they came in
I don't
so
think
fast,
I don't
so
think there
hard
was
that
any
these guys
damage
knew exactly what to. Let's go.
or
Come on,
any.
get in, let's go. Pwah. They came one right after another.
I
Not
think
at the
it was a
same time.
secret mission to
They
take
don't want to come at
the
the same time. They had to come right
uranium,
after each other. They didn't have any room. There was barely any room to land.
and it went tits up and
Tiny
pear
little
shaped
patch of very wet earth and sand.
because it was Ishfan.
So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me and many others at work. I mean, so many. Steve Witkoff's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure he's supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it, but the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. A general was talking about, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk, it might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who executed it, as well as the leadership and resolve of the president who ordered it. One thing that has been clear to me in this role is that the flawless military operations that the Department of War is known for are hostage to flawless intelligence. We saw that in the skies over Iran in Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. We witnessed it in Venezuela during Operation Absolute Resolve. We've seen it against the cartels in the Western Hemisphere, and we're seeing it every day in Operation Epic Fury, including this mission to rescue an aviator buried deep behind enemy lines. Because it is the unique tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces that we leave no man or woman behind, this was a no-fail mission. That was the spirit in which the president put us to work, and we were determined not to let him down or our airmen down. As an agency, the CIA possesses unique capabilities that only the president can deploy. Some of these capabilities fall under covert action authorities. And because covert means exactly that, I'm not going to be able to tell you everything that you want to know. At the president's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert.
It's an
It was
AIS
also a race against the clock,
repeater.
as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible, while at the same time keeping our enemies misdirected. For that
Evening,
reason,
Angela.
in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the president to find our airmen, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians who were desperately hunting for our airmen. On Saturday morning, we achieved our primary objective by finding and providing confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed by Secretary Hegseth to the president, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the president asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear, get back to basics, no politics, no agendas, tackle the hardest problems, and execute the toughest missions. This president is about results. And now, that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters, and all of that is wasted without a president with the political courage to put them into action. Mr. President, I've had the privilege of seeing you act with political courage in the best interest of the United States up close on a daily basis, and I'm grateful that this successful mission has given the American people a window into that as well. The Secretary and Chairman will tell you that our service members' confidence is boosted by a Commander-in-Chief who has their back the same way they have yours. And I know that the confidence of CIA's officers is boosted by the knowledge that their work is informing a president who's not afraid to make the hardest decisions when the stakes are highest. And to the American people, your confidence should be boosted by knowing that the security of the nation is in the hands of a president who's willing to take on problems that have confounded both sides of the political aisle for nearly half a century. It is an honor to serve under a leader who just proved that you can believe him when he says, no matter what, we will leave no one behind. We will come for you. Thank you.
Well, John, thank you for the collaboration of the CIA as well. Incredible and ongoing partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors in our armed forces, over this Easter weekend, the United States military has once again proved why we possess the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. In two extraordinary combat search and rescue operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran, our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision. When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable. When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate. Special operators supported by elite air crews and intelligence professionals moved swiftly and decisively into treacherous mountain terrain under the constant threat of Iranian forces closing in. Ultimately, it was an impotent Iranian threat. And today, as the CIA director mentioned, Iran's military, and we know this, is embarrassed and humiliated, and they should be. Now, these are not routine operations. They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of enemy territory. This was not just barely into Iran. This was deep into Iran, involving coordinated strikes to suppress threats, deception tactics to protect our teams, and full synchronization across air, ground, and special operations. The Iranians are still asking themselves right now, how did the Americans do this? One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy.
With one leg.
He was finally able to activate his emergency transponder. His first message was simple, and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran, the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn.
It's like a movie, isn't it?
All home accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought every American home. No American lives were lost. We leave no man behind, and that is not luck. It's the result of unmatched training, superior technology, an unbreakable warrior ethos, and sheer American grit. Our special operators, pilots, and support crews performed with near perfection under fire, and they were lethal. Just ask any Iranian soldier who dared attempt to get anywhere near that pilot, before or during that mission. Death from above. Our troops turned a potential tragedy into a resounding demonstration of American resolve and capability.
This
That's
guy
what
thinks he's
excellence
Mel
in
Gibson.
uniform looks like. But make no mistake about it. None of this would have been possible without the courageous leadership and ironclad determination of President Donald J. Trump. From the moment our airmen went down, President Trump made it clear we will leave no one behind. The first mission, the first of two, was an audacious daylight thunder run right up the middle. It was authorized in less than 2 hours from that pilot going down when we knew where he was. And it was authorized in the middle of the night, because anybody that's worked from this man knows he's up in the middle of the night. Authorized immediately, without hesitation, audaciously. The second mission, as soon as we knew where that pilot was, and John was certainly helpful in that, also executed immediately. You know, I looked up at my screen when the final mission was complete inside our SCIF, our secure facility. And we have a running VTC, a running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 minutes and 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped, the meeting never stopped, the planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces had the authorities and the support they needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield. President Trump understands that peace through strength is not a slogan. It is a doctrine that saves American lives. His unwavering commitment to rebuilding our military and restoring the warrior spirit has paid dividends in missions just like this one. Under his command, America projects power with confidence and brings our people home with victory. And that continues today, by the way. Per the president's direction, today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice. Choose wisely, because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khomeini.
I'll ask Epstein.
To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, quiet declaration of faith amid the storm, inspires us all. God is good every day. And to our adversaries watching from Tehran, let this be a clear message. The United States military will go anywhere, at any time, to protect our own and complete the mission. We execute with precision. We control the skies. You see, we flew for 7 hours in daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second. And Iran did nothing about it. We fight with honor, and under President Trump's leadership, we win. So God bless our troops, God bless President Trump, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A note before I start, I know many of you want specific details in these briefings. We will share what we can, but I will retain what I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the president, around operational security. The secretary and I will do a more detailed briefing tomorrow morning, and we look forward to sharing the details that we can. On Thursday, 2 April at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:40 in the morning, local Iran time, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center, which handles the Central Command area of responsibility, declared an isolated personnel recovery event for a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle, call sign Dude 44, which was down in hostile Iranian territory. The pilot and weapons system officer had both safely ejected and were isolated behind enemy lines. Following confirmation of active rescue beacons and on the direction of the Secretary and by order of the President, a rescue operation was launched with the stated purpose of bringing both Americans home safely. As the Secretary said, several hours later on the morning after positively locating the front seater, call sign Dude 44 Alpha, and aware of an aggressive ongoing search by the enemy, a U.S. Central Command plan was approved by the Secretary and the President. Shortly thereafter, a U.S. Air Force Combat Search and Rescue Task Force comprised of A-10 Warthogs in their Sandy role, and I'll describe what that is in a minute, HC-130 Combat King 2s, HH-60 Jolly Green 2 helicopters, and Air Force Special Warfare Airmen, a package comprised of combat rescue officers and pararescueman operators, audaciously penetrated enemy territory in broad daylight to find, fix, and recover Dude 44 Alpha from behind enemy lines.
Failed mission to
This
grab the
was an
uranium.
incredibly dangerous mission, an incredibly dangerous undertaking, but a filled promise made to every American warfighter that you will not be left behind. We will always come find you, and we will always bring you home. Over the next hours, the Search and Rescue Task Force crossed the beach, entered into Iranian airspace, protected by a fighter strike package, and moved into the objective area, all under fire. En route, as some of you have seen on social media, the helicopters took gas off the C-130s and pressed onward and forward up into the objective area. While this was ongoing and out in front of them, the Sandy flight of A-10s and other remotely piloted aircraft, drones, and other tactical aircraft were violently suppressing and engaging the enemy in a close-in gunfight to keep them away from the front seater and allow the pickup force to get into the objective area. During this engagement, one of the Sandy aircraft, the one primarily responsible for communicating with the downed pilot, was hit by enemy fire. This pilot continued to fight, continued the mission, and then upon exit, flew his aircraft into another country and determined that the airplane was not landable. This was one of our A-10 Sandy aircraft. The pilot then made the decision to eject over friendly territory and was quickly and safely recovered and is doing fine. After picking up Dude 44 Alpha, the HH-60 Jolly Green fight was engaged by every single person in Iran who had a small arms weapon. And one of the aircraft, the trailing aircraft, took several hits. The crew sustained minor injury, and they are going to be fine. A note for those of you that do not know what a Sandy does. Named after the flight call sign that did this very mission in Vietnam, flying A-1 Sky Raiders and A-7 Corsairs. A Sandy has one mission: get to the survivor, bring the rescue force forward, and put themselves between that survivor on the ground and the enemy. They are committed to this. This is what they live for, and this is what they've trained for over many, many years. The A-10 force and the rescue force did a fantastic job rescuing Dude 44 Alpha. He was recovered on Friday afternoon. As I said, and the nation needs to know this, this was an incredibly brave and courageous mission, and a testament to the courage, skill, and tenacity of the joint force and our leaders. And especially a daylight option, having the guts to try, means so much to so many. Meanwhile, the Backseater, as the President and the Secretary have said, had continued to work and survive. Through the hours of daylight, Dude 44 Bravo, the Backseater, evaded. Using every means available, the efforts of the United States military, the Central Intelligence Agency, and others were attempting to find and locate with precision Dude 44 Bravo, the Backseater. A note on the backseater and the front seater. The single most important contributor to a successful rescue operation is the spirit of attack inside the heart of that downed aviator. Their will to survive, their will to evade, their will to recover is everything. In this case, the backseater's absolute commitment to surviving made much of our efforts possible. On Saturday, 4 April, after establishing positive communications with the backseater, we learned, as the president said, that he was injured and actively evading enemy forces. And thanks to our interagency partners, we were able to get eyes on his location and positively ID him. Throughout this entire time, the enemy force continued to search for 4-4 Bravo, and the joint force continued to strike them over and over and over again. Fighting off marginal weather in Iran and the enemy's search for a second time on Saturday, at the recommendation of the CENTCOM commander and at the approval of the Secretary and the President, we launched a rescue task force to recover Dude 4-4 Bravo. Again, this came to the President and the Secretary for approval, this time with a much larger force package based on the time that the enemy had to prepare to find 4-4 Bravo. Again, this force was protected by A-10 Warthogs using the Sandy call sign. And this force had one single mission: do everything they can to bring an American home. This meant having a plan, being prepared to execute that plan, and more importantly, being prepared for multiple simultaneous contingencies. And because of this force's professionalism, grit, and determination, fight off two enemies at the same time: the enemy searching for 4-4 Bravo and contingencies, which anyone who has done these types of missions knows we run into every single time. The force fought off both of those enemies incredibly well. During the period of darkness on Saturday, and as the Secretary said, into Easter Sunday and into the daylight, the force fought its way in and rescued Dude 4-4 Bravo.
It only took 45 minutes.
Overhead by an air armada, including tactical drones, strike aircraft, and others. The force fought through multiple simultaneous contingencies, something no other nation, no other military can do, and safely returned Dude 4-4 Bravo, the backseater, home, and all other Americans home as well. At midnight 12 local Eastern time, Easter Sunday, more than 50 hours after the start of this operation, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center declared Dude 4-4 Bravo, both the front and backseater, returned to friendly territory. The courage demonstrated by both the pilot and the weapons system officer while isolated and them invading the enemy cannot be overstated. Their grit and warfighting tenacity is a direct result of the absolute trust they have in our rescue forces, their training, and their will to survive and return. They always knew that we would be ordered to go get them, and they always knew that we would be coming to get them. These two operations reflect our nation's most sacred obligation to our military service members. We leave no one behind, bless you. It also perfectly captures the first truth of our special operations forces, that people are more important than hardware. That is the standard we live by, and the rescue forces that execute these missions operate under a clear motto: these things we do that others may live. Their actions were a direct embodiment of that commitment to others, and I could not be more proud of each and every one of them today. As the Secretary said to our enemies, this operation serves as a clear reminder of the capability and will of America's joint force. The United States of America will recover our warfighters anywhere in the world, under any conditions, when we want to. We will always bring overwhelming skill and firepower. To every member of the joint force, our interagency partners, the leadership at CENTCOM, and our leaders at the department and above, thank you. I'm proud of each and every one of you and thankful to our deployed forces and their families. And lastly, and most importantly, to Dude 44, welcome home. Job well done. Thank you.
You know, he's in Kuwait.
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And these two gentlemen have been, from day one, they've been perfecto. You know, I got to know General Kane in my first term because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection.
He's been funding ISIS.
Other, much lesser generals. I said, you know, if I ever do this again, that's going to be the head of my Joint Chiefs of Staff. And we worked it that way, didn't we? And he's amazing. He took out ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I was told
you just freed them.
I flew to Iraq to find out with the greatest equipment in the world, why would it take 4 years? And he told me, sir, it won't. It'll take 4 weeks and you'll have time left over. And that's exactly what happened. So he's great. And Pete, all I can say is that he was treated very unfairly. And now those same people that treated him unfairly, that fought against him, they called me up saying, what a great choice he was. They said, well, what happened during his nomination? What happened to you? I'm telling you, people that were not for him, senators, friends of mine, sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing. Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe was incredible. It was actually their genius that called us from, it was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. He wasn't moving. And they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain, vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something moving 40 miles away. It was the head of a human being. I'm telling you, it's moving. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, we have him. And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically. And it's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA. I don't think they get enough credit.
Oh, it's laughable.
The great job they've done. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this great opportunity. Country it has super army. You make a difference, Mr. President. Thank you for your greatest leadership.
Thank you.
I have 2 quick questions, Mr. President. What was your reaction when you learned that Kurdistan region had resumed exporting oil to the international market with your support as United States of America?
Well, I expected that. We've gotten along with the Kurds for a long time, so I expected that.
Another question, what would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told if you protest, you will be shot immediately. You saw what happened to the young wrestler. He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler, one of the top in the world. And he and his 2 friends were hung. And all they did was say a little bit about liberty. They wanted liberty, and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed. So, you know, when somebody stays in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that, you know, that was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You know, we got regime change. We do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view is very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. You know, they want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to, and if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is, but it's very unfair to say we don't, because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news, but you can't. It's so bad for the people that are so
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Right, and John Ratcliffe,
2 weeks to flatten the
They
round.
have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering. They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest.
And that's what happened in America a couple of weeks ago.
The regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom.
Ice,
boom,
baby.
5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, "Oh my God, what's that? Oh, look over there. What's that?"
Why are you going on about PP?
Right between the eyes. And after 5 or 6 of them go down, then you start hearing the purr through the vast number of people. And then they said, "Oh my God, who would do that?" And they're incredible people, but they've lived so horribly. They've lived so horribly. Iran was a great country if you go back 25 years ago or so. The Persian people, they're incredible, smart, brilliant, actually. And I know so many. I know coming from New York, originally, I know so many people from Iran. They're incredible people, incredible energy, and very, very brilliant people. But when you're standing in a group and protesting and you have a woman, in the case of the woman, remember the Great Woman March, everybody was saying, "Oh, this is the end of the country." And then snipers selectively picked. Every single one was shot right between the eyes from a long distance. They were on top of buildings. Nobody even knew where they were.
A bit like Gaza.
This wasn't like a machine gun, which is also very bad. They've done that too.
Shot
They
right
did that
between the eyes.
recently. This was snipers sitting on the top of buildings, aiming and hitting women. And when they see people go down, and all of a sudden there's a riot in the reverse direction, and they never came out again. And a lot of the news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people like, AOC +3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings. So I wonder what's going on. I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing, even if it jeopardizes, because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran, but it's very hard for them to protest. I actually tell them, I said, don't go out. I fully understand. Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's any, because frankly, it's not a question of bravery. We're all brave, right? You're brave, I'm brave, we're all brave. But we're also intelligent. If you have people shooting at you, expert shots with the best rifles you can get, and hitting you right between the eyes every single time, and you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here, you're out of there. I don't care who it is. Please.
Mark Meredith, Fox News.
I know that.
Oh, thank you.
How would I know that? Go ahead.
America's watching. No,
Good job.
Can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk you out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on.
Somebody else within?
No, there was military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board. which was very important. If they weren't, I would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said, you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very powerful military. You know, this is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen before.
Which video, Fumit? That you in the video, Smiler, looking well. Which video?
The people are wearing uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's not done. That's one of the reasons. You know, I was surprised. Somebody said it's the only time it's ever been done. I said, that's not possible. But it is possible because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether?
A few men.
To the operation.
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, we are. But I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds and hundreds of these people. That's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment. A lot of it.
A C-130 will carry 120 men with equipment. 130 without equipment. How many C-130s went in?
Equipment, nobody cares. Hundreds of people could have been killed. So we had people that were within the military that said this is not a wise, and I understood that, but I decided to do it.
Was there a point that that you were thinking there's too much on the line, and somebody was saying maybe we abort this now and wait? I mean, given the resource, like the general said, it seemed like there was so much on the line here. You must have been thinking, well, this could have completely changed.
So the first one, which was in many ways as dangerous as the second, I guess it gets, because we're flying over daylight. You know, we're the best at the world at night. We have goggles that nobody, we have goggles. I've tried them. They're unbelievable. I see better with the goggles at night than I see without them during daylight. I mean, daylight today, we have a beautiful day. You see just as well with goggles. In many ways, it's enhanced. So we have the best in the world. So it's much safer for us to do it at night, where people, no other country has that capability. They don't have that particular piece of equipment like we do. But when I was told flying and in daylight, I think we flew 7 hours over Iran, and that's a long time, over unbelievably hostile territory where they have nothing but weapons. We took out their anti-aircraft, which is great. We took out their radar, which is great. We took out a lot, but they still have, you know, what hit this one was a handheld shoulder missile, heat-seeking missile. So it's not like, you know, they're totally whatever. And they had probably a little luck because you got to get lucky. But they shot it and it got sucked in right by the engine. But these guys were out of there. They were great. The timing was great. But no, I was told that this is a very dangerous mission. I understand. They didn't say it's a foolish mission. They said, you know, we're going to be sacrificing hundreds of people do this. This is, I mean, you have tankers that are flying over this area so that because the flight was so long, they had to refuel. It's a very dangerous mission. I just felt it was worth it. If you would have told me that we would have been successful, gotten both, and nobody was even essentially injured, I would have said that would be impossible. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Given that you are now dealing, you say, with a more reasonable, less extreme leadership in Iran, what does that mean for the protesters, for the human rights movement in that country after this conflict?
Well,
What's your
positive.
expectation?
Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive, a big step. I don't think you'd see the radicalization that you have seen in the last. Look what happened. I mean, women are being executed because they're not properly clothed, they say. They're not properly clothed, and they execute the women. They shoot them right on the street.
We literally showed them having a better Christmas than we did. I think it was me and Michael on the panel, wasn't it? Me, Michael, and Max.
No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them. Essentially, they have till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. But we are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here a month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years. This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents. And those presidents are saying now, every one of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago. So it's not something I like doing. It's very dangerous. And we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal, they would have had don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember this. He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How?
It's strange, isn't it? They asked all the presidents that are alive today, have you spoken to Trump about this? And they all deny it. They've all made statements saying, we haven't agreed with what Trump's doing.
How Israel can vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel and really the Arab world, if you look, because, you know, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE. I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking, and he made a terrible mistake. But that was a road to a nuclear weapon. And when I terminated that,
you can literally see their speeches, PP. You can literally see them being questioned, and they answer.
everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And it was a very short-term deal. You know, countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, this isn't, you're a landlord and you're renting a store on a certain street and you give somebody a 5-year or 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. Took a lot of heat, and it was one of the best things I ever did because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon, had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago and obliterated that site. And by the way, the word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it. It was.
Well, if they haven't been able to get it, how are they building this supposed nuclear weapon that you keep on going on about? That Netanyahu spent how many years going? They're 2 weeks off. They're a month off. They're 6 months off. They're a week off. I think it was an half-an-hour clip of every single time Netanyahu said it. So if he obliterated it all in June last year, what's he talking about? What's he talking about? It's crazy, isn't it, Frida? It's crazy.
It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision too, because we had all those planes flying in at night.
You was running off Biden's plans. It was already leaked out that it was Biden's plans in the bloody first place. And it's all off on the back of a movie, Top Gun. It's crazy. Just like this one, Black Hawk Down. Yours is to reset the world. But I was having a conversation last night, and it was like, in one of his speeches yesterday, or was it earlier today? We're oil independent. We got complete oil independency. Any country that wants aviation fuel, any country that wants LNG, any country that wants oil, come and buy it off America. Right? Well, hang on a minute. Right? If they're completely oil independent, we know that they're getting oil straight out of Venezuela from Aramco. How come all the American prices have shot up on oil as well? Especially diesel. Diesel's crazy. So if they've got complete independence, how are America's prices going up? They should be cheaper, shouldn't they? Because they haven't got to buy anywhere else. He keeps on spouting those words. I don't know. Confucius or what?
With very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at a high level, either one of those two instances. And if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 1,500 missiles. He would have taken them out also. And they were powerful. If I didn't come along and terminate the Obama deal.
PP, nomadic Brett, truck driver in America, he's paying more than $5 for diesel.
Which was terrible. The Iran nuclear deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, a big one, unlimited, legally. I terminated it without even much thought. It was.
His diesel bill's gone up by £1,000 a week. I think it's £1,000 a week, he said. Somebody correct me.
So easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because he's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book. But
they've already lost more than 5 military bases. And don't forget, you blew up 167 kids, didn't you? And then you, after doing those kids, you then did the gym, didn't you?
But you, as president, to be a good president, I believe you have to have good instincts. And a lot of this is instinct. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for taking my question, Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Last week, last week you suggested that Europe should take the lead on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Has circumstances changed now that you're issuing a direct 48-hour ultimatum? And secondly, would a new ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between Iran
I can't
and
talk
US?
about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that. But they're like,
Mr. President, thank you so much.
You've listed the goals. Excuse me.
Please go ahead.
You've listed
Thank
the
you, Mr.
goals.
President.
Who you with? Who you with?
My name is Diakur. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Huda Media Network. It's based in Iran.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, you said before that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and be harmed. Do you still want them to stay away, or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away.
And then,
I'd rather have them stay away because I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death. I mean, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away.
Except for just a few weeks ago, you were using them, weren't you? Using one Kurds against the other Kurds and using HTS, Al-Qaeda, to free from the good Kurds, ISIS. And then you flew them to Iraq.
Go ahead.
I'll have showed the videos.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
failing?
Are you concerned?
Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are
What's
you
going on
concerned
with
that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. Again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times because the New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages. Right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down? Or are you escalating?
I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell. It depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And after that, they're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah. Stone Ages. CNN fake news.
Are you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine, drop them in the water. And now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days.
In it, Ulick. In it.
We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world. And you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone. And then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think that NATO, I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning when I spoke to UK of all. I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. You know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible. But 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have weaponry. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said earlier today during the egg roll that you would like to take Iran's oil, but Americans want U.S. forces home.
Correct.
What's that trade-off?
If I had my choice, yeah, because I'm a businessman first. With Venezuela, as you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes. And we have great people running Venezuela, very good people. I mean, the relationship is good. And we are a partner with Venezuela. And we've taken hundreds of millions of barrels, hundreds of millions. Over 100 million barrels already is in Houston, refined and out. And paid for that war many, many times over, many times. You know, the old days, to the victim. Okay, you know that. To the winner belong the spoils. Go the spoils. And I've said, why don't we use it? To the victor. Go.
So why America's prices still going up, and away?
Go the spoils. And We don't have that. We haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War, you look at the Second World War, we didn't have it with the Second World. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it, and we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and we, just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy.
Whose benefits PP? I ain't on benefits. I work.
With the president-elect that we have right now, the people that are running it, if you remember Bush with Iraq, they fired the generals, they fired the police, they fired the people that worked in their equivalent of the White House, they fired everybody. And you know what they had? They had a mess. And you know what happened? ISIS formed. Those generals and those soldiers got together, the police got together, they all got together, they formed ISIS. Not going to happen with us. So Venezuela has been an incredible situation. We went in.
You funded ISIS, literally. You said Obama created ISIS. It was in one of your great speeches.
We were very successful, military power like nobody's ever seen. The general, Venezuelan general, said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different, they were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So typically when you see that late at night, you know, you could be in trouble, right? And we were all ready. They had their equipment. It was Russian. And they had Chinese equipment. It was all set. They were going to give us a fight. He said, and then they came, and they came at speeds like we've never seen. And they came at 17 different angles. The general and his people, that was a lot of angles. They hit him from every angle. He said, we knew it was over in 3 minutes. We were waiting for them. Their equipment didn't work. And there's a reason it didn't work. Someday we'll explain that to people. They pressed the button, nothing happened. They pressed it again and again, nothing happened. And he said, we knew this whole thing was over in 3 minutes. We've never seen any, he used the word ferocity. The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles, and it was over. They went inside. And remember, that was on a military base with thousands of soldiers. And those soldiers looked and they said, get the hell out of here. Thousands, we didn't have thousands. We had like 200 people. So we have a great military. And I'll tell you what, somehow this rescue captured the world's attention, more so than normally. You're talking about 2 people. But this rescue captured the world's attention. But we did it in Venezuela. That was amazing. And now we have a very bad man in prison and going to trial. I mean, he released, aside from the drugs, which he was terrible, Maduro released hundreds of thousands of people from jails into our country. Drug dealers, murderers, the worst people in the world were released into our country because we had a stupid president who probably didn't know. And we had a border guard who never went to the border and never once called our great Border Patrol agents, right? Not once, Kamala. She never called the Border Patrol. She never said, how are we doing? I used to call the Border Patrol guys every day. You can ask them, Paul, ask any one of them. Brandon, ask him. I used to call them all the time. How are we doing? How are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9 months, nobody is coming through our border. And nobody even tries because they know they're not going to get through. So we don't have caravans anymore. So maybe 1 or 2 more and we'll be done.
President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
So just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
They have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be, we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this
I do,
war?
because
And have you
God
sought
is
his
good,
direction?
because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says, I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it. These two guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, oh boy, they're so tough. I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars. Nobody's ever done it. The person who won the Nobel Prize came to me and said, you deserve the Nobel Prize. She announced that when they announced, they said, goes to Maria. She's a great person, really a good person. She said, no. This is ridiculous. They gave me the Nobel Prize. President Trump ended 8 wars. I could go over every one of them, including India and Pakistan, where the Prime Minister of Pakistan said, President Trump saved from 30 to 50 million lives. That makes me much happier than what we're doing right now. That makes me much happier. We have one more to end, by the way. Okay.
President, you called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Dasha, go ahead. Dasha,
You said that very little is off limits in Iran as far as targeting,
Yeah.
including power plants, bridges, you've mentioned those.
Very little is off limits.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want
or
to tell you
hospitals
that.
you
I don't want
would
to
say
tell you
is
that.
off-
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. You saw the bridge. The bridge went. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
You voiced your displeasure with NATO in the past. Is there a danger to the U.S. not being the de facto of the leader of the alliance? And then
other powers within the alliance than getting the decision making to wars and nuclear
Yeah, no,
weapons?
it's not a danger. NATO's, look, we went to NATO. I didn't ask very strongly. I just said, hey, if you want to help, great. No, 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 we will not help. I said, that's all right. You don't want to help? Because I've always said NATO's a paper tiger. See, NATO's a paper tiger. Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, but we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it. And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us? South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump. And you notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But we have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they were all afraid to do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO, NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent, Qatar has been excellent, UAE has been excellent, Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes really that we lost with friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots. The pilot said, what kind of a missile's coming at us? Patriot. Boom, they got out because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful Patriots. There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, no, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got, and you know, it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
What about rising gas prices for Americans who are concerned?
Wowza. Absolutely wowza. I've never had so much word salad in all my life. Started off with 78,000 in this chat. Type in. And I'd say at least 80% of them were all saying the same. Absolute word salad. So 8 p.m. tomorrow, yeah. Is that 8 p.m. his time? I mean, if I was Iran, Iran were bombing at 1:30, 2 o'clock this morning. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Absolutely beautiful speech. Oh my God, PP. Who is PP anyway? Is it PP from over the other side? I can't tell. I can see a carp. Just looking for updates. They talked about that big, beautiful Patriot missile, didn't they? Let's remove that. Stop screen. Put that on. Share screen. Oops, daisies. Failed Patriot interceptor missile hit Bapco oil storage while trying to intercept an Iranian drone in Bahrain. Let's have another quick look. Oops. Oops. What's the other video? Oops. Oops. So by the looks of it, it looks like the drone hits its target and then Patriot comes in and hits it again. Oops. There you go, Michael. He's even put it on Truth Social. Look. That was yesterday, though. This is everything that Hezbollah reckons is taken out. So tires there. There's a blue line. I can't see the Latini River though. I can't breathe. Oh God. What's this? Nice work, guy. Tight. That's 3rd of March. Nhung, nhung, nhung. As in Haifa. Nice brushed stainless there, look. Or brushed alley. Somebody lost the stereo, didn't they?
You all right, brother? Smiler. How you doing, bruv?
Hello.
Hello, mate. How you doing, Smiler?
I don't think we've met before, have we?
Oh, me and you? Come on, of course we have.
Have we?
Not met in person, no.
Or met on here?
Well, I don't know. What do you reckon?
I don't know.
What do you mean, politically, geographically, you mean, if we ever met?
No.
No, I wouldn't know.
I can see an avatar with a carp in it. You and a carp.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you ain't got my man of the truth badge up. It's PP.
PP from the dark side.
The dark side. What is a dark side? Tell me about the dark side. We got the dark side. We love the dark side.
What's he doing? Playing whack-a-mole?
Well, big up Trump. Trump is a good one. Just say, right, the cards, what we got, right, what we've all been dealt, right? When I was young, I didn't like the cards I was dealt. Now, I'm quite happy with the cards I'm dealt. I'm content. But now it seems to be taking more and more from me, from this. What's your perspective on the way life's going? Yeah. All right, what about the King not doing an Easter speech? What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, when did the Queen do one?
She done one every fucking year.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. She'd always do an Easter speech. And
Are
an
you
Easter.
sure?
Yeah, from the royal family. I'm subscribed to the royal family. Of course I am. Yes. And she used to always wish Easter, Passover, the rise of Christ.
I don't know. When you Google it, it says that she didn't often
I don't
make
care
it.
about what you got to remember is right. The what was it called? What was that thing called? The Mandela effect. What is the Mandela effect, Smiler?
Yeah, that's why I fought freedom. One speech back in 2020. The Queen was the Queen of Arabia. You know, she was the Queen of Arabia before Charlie. Before Charlie, you know.
So where does Lawrence come into this? Where's Lawrence? You know,
that's why she used to have. That's why she used to have all those special gifts.
Do you think, Smiler? We're politically opposite ends of the spectrum. How do you feel? What do you think about what's happening in the UK today? You said you're a working man. You've got businesses. What do you think is happening?
Absolutely disgusting.
And what's disgusting?
Well, we've got every religion, race, creed. Yeah, I've done lives about it on here. You know, you've got every religion using Trafalgar Square. You've got everything else. Yeah, but as soon as you put a Christian in there, there's hell up. Yeah, a Christian gets arrested in Manchester for reading verses of the Bible. Yeah, as a street trader. Yeah. 20, 30 feet away from him is a Quran stall, yeah, playing the fucking call to prayer or some other fucking music, yeah? And the police come along and fucking move matey on.
Yeah, that is, do you know, so I've misinterpreted. I don't know how I've done that, misinterpreted what you're about. And I've got to say, I apologise to you for that, because I had it that you was pro. Not that I'm against is that. I believe in freedom for every single person in this country. Right? If people's got problems, they should be entitled to get away from problems, especially war, etc. And everyone is entitled to a quality of life. Their religion.
There's no such thing as fucking Judeo-Christianity, right? It's Christianity, end of. No such thing as Judeo-Christianity. Judeo-Christianity is fucking a lie.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie. Let me read.
Of course it is. Jewish, yeah.
Islam was first.
Jesus. Anybody that worships Jesus is an idolatress. Jesus is burning or boiling in human excrement, right?
Oh,
Mary.
Jesus. Yeah, but I'm not a Catholic, so Mary is Mary, right?
Yeah, Mary's a prostitute.
What do you think about Allah?
It's all in your.
What about Allah, who married a 6-year-old and divorced her at 9? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we could say the same of what about rabbis, 3 years old in one day, and every time a tear shed, every time a tear sheds from her eye, it's the hymen coming back.
Where'd you get that from?
The Talmud.
Yeah, but they don't go out inflicting and raping people.
And 9-year-old, the rabbi can have. You know, they can have a boy at 9.
No, they can't. They don't do
that.
Yeah, they
can.
Where have you got that from?
It's literally in your books.
It's not in my books. It's not in my books. It's not in my books.
It's in the Talmud.
In the what?
In the Talmud.
Let me read something here, right? Islam was first brought to the region of Palestine during early Muslim conquest, the 17th century, when Rashidun Caliphate, under the leadership of Umar ibn Kawapa, whatever the fuck he was, conquered the Sham region from the Byzantine Empire. The Muslim army conquered Jerusalem, held by the Byzantine Romans. But before the Romans, it went back to the, like you just quoted before, the Jewish people. So, and what you got to remember is this war going on between Israel and Palestine. Years ago, Israel was willing to accept Palestine as its own state, but Palestine wouldn't accept Israel. Now, why is that? Why do you think Israel has got so much to do with everything? What goes on here?
Why has Israel got so much to do with that? You tell me. Right, they wanted to go.
Question. Question. All right, then. Let's ask this one. Do you know? Now, I've only just found out. Now, God bless your daughter. She's knowing, but I understand from what you said when you was arguing with Lammy about being married to a Muslim. Now, if you passed and you was atheist or a Christian, she cannot attend your funeral. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm agnostic, so.
What does that mean, agnostic? Coming in line.
And.
Magnostic. No, stick to magnostic. What does that mean?
I'm agnostic. So basically, as an atheist, but I believe in something.
Atheist. So you're believing. What do you believe in?
I believe in that there's something after death.
Something. Come on, define something. We got something here, so something must be something. Something can't be nothing, can it?
But there's something after death. I don't know what it is. Nobody's proved it to me yet, have they?
So you're an atheist, which is a worse infidel than someone who's a Christian. What do you think about the king? Well, we've already gone over that. Would you convert to Islam?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, what the fuck? Why would I convert to Islam? My daughter hasn't converted. My daughter hasn't converted.
Of course she has.
No, she hasn't. She married the man that she loved, then love. The end.
Well, no, so
Yeah?
he's not a true. He don't.
My grandkids have had Christmas. They've had a wonderful Easter. They've had their Easter eggs. Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant.
They live in the Western world.
So
like
the Western world. So what do you think about what's happening with people taking? Do you think they're here to take over or push their grounds of push their boundaries, should I say, the boundaries of what?
Well, I mean, you've got different fractions, haven't you? Right? You've got our government, you've got the Western world governments. America's
not really Western, that's Eastern, isn't it?
No, but America pulled all the bounties off Jelani's head. You know, £10 million bounties off his head, right? We've given Jelani £2.1 billion. £2.1 billion.
Not far short of that.
Well, France isn't Muslim, is it? Jelani is Al Qaeda. Yeah, ISIS. Yeah, he was ISIS, and then Al Qaeda, and then the leader of Al Qaeda. Right? We gave 350 million at Christmas.
350 million pounds we gave to them. I didn't even know that. I don't really know.
We pledged 2025, 2026, 2.1 billion to Al Jelani.
So where do you think we're heading in political, this war? Where do you think? What do you think this is about?
Why was we funding ISIS? Why was America funding ISIS? Why did Israel, America?
I'll say it was more Mujahideen they funded back in the day. But again, what you got to remember is the WEF.
We're funding HTS now. Yeah, which is Al Jelani. Yeah, they might have taken him out of his combat clothes and his ragtag, you know, and shaved his beard and, you know, put a suit on, but he's still who he is, isn't he? He's still killing and massacring Christians.
But what do you think about it? It's been inflicted now on our own country, on our own soil.
What do I think that's being inflicted on our own country? Well, it's every single war that has been.
Let me put it this way.
Every single war. Hang on, let me finish. Every single war that has taken place, has been to the demise of the Christian. Yeah? To the demise of the Christian.
But I would say Trump's fighting for the Christian.
No, he ain't. How's he fighting for the Christian?
Well, why ain't
he? He got blackmailed into a war that he ain't got a fucking clue how to get out of.
Listen, I understand the Epstein files. It is a really good divert from things. And what did the WEF?
Well, not only the Epstein files, is it? You know, how much money did Jared Kushner get? How much money did Whitcoff get? Yeah,
don't tell me. How much did they get?
Well, millions.
And who are these people?
Well, don't you know?
No, enlighten me. I'm here for enlightenment.
Hang on 2 seconds. So,
yep, come on.
You don't know who Jared Kushner is?
I just want to hear your opinion, like what you got to say about that.
Do you know who Chabad Lubavitch is?
No. Lubavitch. That sounds very Baltic.
Chabad Lubavitch. You claim to be Jewish.
Yeah, go on, enlighten me.
We don't know who Chabad Lubavitch is.
I know where Eric Stackleback is, and a few other people, but come on. You're Googling now. Come on.
I ain't Googling nothing.
Well, talk
Why
to me.
am I Googling?
Educate me. I'm here for education.
Well, if you don't know.
All the gods.
If you don't know who they are, then but every single one of them is surrounded by Trump, even down to rapping. Yeah, even down to rapping and sticking their little satanic box on their forehead and strapping their arm, strapping their arms with their black leather and a little black box on their forehead, standing underneath a portrait of JFK.
Fuck you, hell. Get the fuck out.
In the White House.
Wow. That's fucking unbelievable.
Big up, Sam.
Unbelievable. So,
but you come on here claiming to be Jewish, but you don't know what your little black box is, and you don't know what your little lever is that goes through your black box.
No, I understand. I want to hear
your black box of Saturn.
What you got to say about it?
Your black box of Saturn.
And what you said about it so far is absolute waffle. In reality. And I ain't got nothing to add to it.
What's waffle all about it then?
All about Trump this and Trump with his leather patches on and Trump. Jump off this subject.
So hang on. So you told me about your davening and your Shekinah. Tell me why you have you been to the Western Wall? Have you?
I have.
You have, and you've stood there and you've shagged Shekinah.
No, I ain't. No, I haven't. I'm not very religious. I'm not very religious.
Rocking, shagging your Shekinah. Did you?
Let me explain.
Did you have your
Can I answer?
Can
I answer? I'm religious in my own right, but I don't subscribe to much doctrine what's being put out there. So there's your answer. But yeah, have you ever been out in the Middle East?
No.
Where have you been? Have you ever been abroad?
Of course I have.
Whereabouts?
Quite a few places. But
what do you think about the European Union?
The European Union?
Do you think we should join it?
Why the fuck would we join the European Union? We joined the European Union once and lost every single fucking trade that we did. We lost every single fucking we lost every single fucking industry. The only industry we got left is third party countries building weapons in our country.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we've allowed this for years. Now, technically, what we need to do, how do you think, what do you think of him, Rupert Lowe? Rupert Lowe. Do you think he could pull off what he's saying, or do you think the World Economical Forum, like they did to, what's his name, Farage? Now, he come out writing checks that he could not cash. And then when he got into a bit of power, it come out obvious that he can't cash the checks he's written.
Yeah, but we all knew that Farage couldn't cash the check. Farage has always been a money person. He's never been nothing else. He's always been a spin doctor.
Yeah, business is good for politics like this. Look at this geezer. He is ruining this country. And millionfold.
He is ruining the country. I did see a comment in the chat from you earlier, I think it was, that Starmer decided not to get involved in the war. Well, he should fucking stop Trump flying out of Lakenheath and flying bombs out and flying bombs in, loading up, then refueling over Cornwall to then go and bomb Iran. We shouldn't be involved. We shouldn't be letting them use Akadori.
But then we're talking about nuclear weapons, right? Weapons of mass.
Who's talking about nuclear weapons?
Well, this is what a lot of it's about. They want nuclear.
No, hang on. You've heard speech after speech after speech. You've just heard another speech just now. Yeah, word salad, right? The biggest, the baddest. We had the B2 bomber. And we took out.
They are good. They are good. And they're making tank busters. You got to
we stopped their nuclear weapons in their track. Blah 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 blah. We can't afford. And then in the next breath, we can't afford them to have a nuclear weapon. Hang on a minute. You either stopped them in June last year, or you didn't stop them. So
they took out what's it going to be? Mossad took out, or the IDF. Big up the IDF. They took out their scientist, their chief nuclear scientist, back just after, I think it was what happened in, was it 2000 when they went into Israel? A few years ago now, wasn't it? When they went over there, was it
when they were doing the peace treaties? Yes, they took out the nuclear. So that's why Iran has said, well, we just tried to make deals with you. Hang on, we just tried to make deals with you again. We were sitting in one hotel room. You were sitting in another hotel room. We were passing notes between rooms with a courier, right? And you totally went against the agreement altogether because Jared Kushner and Wickoff said, well, I just think that Israel should just start bombing them. Yeah. So Trump said, well,
October the 7th, was it October the 7th, October the 8th, 2 days they went in there and started slotting people and dragging innocent people off and taking them hostage. When people get the hostage,
October the 7th, what October the 7th, which Netanyahu paid for.
Oh yeah, you believe he allowed it. Come on, Smiler. You can't believe that he allowed that.
Oh, you've got IDF soldiers telling you that he fucking allowed it. You've got his own fucking government telling them he allowed it. And then what did he do? He put in the Hannibal fucking directive and started fucking shooting his own.
So who can prove that they were really IDF and not just propaganda machines? Which, come on, the left know how to use propaganda to their fucking.
What, when you've got the actual leader of the military that got sacked for saying the fucking the quiet part out loud?
You mean the ex-leader in the military, or does he still lead them?
No, he's the ex-military leader because he said the quiet part out loud. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Regarding the Hannibal directive.
Yeah. So what do you believe?
Trump, Netanyahu, right, in Netanyahu's corruption trial, yeah, in his corruption trial,
I think Keir Starmer's one of them.
But in Netanyahu's corruption trial, he's already said it. Hang on, no. You started this. You want the facts, yeah? In his corruption trial, right? He's already stated the last 3 months, yeah? The last 3 months, he was giving double the amount, yeah? He was sending the money to Qatar, yeah?
Doha.
Yeah, he was sending the money to Doha.
Why was he sending them money to Doha? Do you know that?
And then it was given straight. And then it was given straight to who? It was given straight to Hamas. Yeah, suitcases full of it.
And who told you that?
It's actually in his corruption trial. It's actually in his corruption trial.
All right, then. What's the outcome of his corruption trial? What was the outcome?
Well, one of the prosecutors got killed. Another one of the prosecutors got attempted murder.
They're like fucking gangsters, aren't they? Yeah? But do you like the quality of life you've got? This is what I like saying to people. Do you understand and like the quality of life you've got? Because at the moment we're in a right threshold here where everyone's gambling. Well, a lot of propaganda and a lot of size.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in London now.
Well, you lived in London. You rolled over. You had your fucking belly tickled. You let your fucking city get fucking run over and taken over. You let it get turned into fucking. What do they call it? What do they call fucking Londistan?
Londistan. You mean the what could we call it? The Islamic State of London.
Yeah, you let it get taken over.
What's happening in Cornwall now?
Cornwall hasn't been taken over. 28 reform councillors wanted it taken over.
All right. Where do your alliances lie? How do you see it? Do you oppose Islam?
Yeah.
You oppose it?
Yeah.
From all your heart, you oppose Islam. So if they ever come knocking on your door and said you convert or die as a Christian, you'll die. Well, you're an atheist, aren't you? Or whatever that terminology was you meant, but you'd die as that person. I know I would.
Yeah.
Good man. Good man. Well,
and I'm a Cornish nationalist.
What does that mean? You're a
Cornwall's for Cornwall.
Yeah, no, I love tradition. Don't
you come here. If you come here, you assimilate. If you come here, you assimilate. If you don't assimilate, then you get fucked off.
Yeah, you mean you're working to be in the Cornish, but I like Cornwall. It's a beautiful part of the country, you know that, and the area you live in.
And then you had everybody. You had all these silly fucking little right wing fucking knobheads.
Right, hold on a minute. Define
or central right, whatever you want to call them. Tommy Cards.
Right wing. Define right wing. What is a right wing?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, you're the one who's thrown that.
You call them. What do they call them? Civnats, FNATs. I don't know. I was having this conversation with Jupiter the other day. Tell me the fucking difference. You're either a nationalist or not a nationalist.
I believe in my country, and I believe in what we have and what we've built and what we've built in over years. And one thing I do hate is that we're getting blamed for everything. When if you look at the Yazidi tribe, which are being absolutely hounded, as are Christians in Nigeria, by a certain demographic. And which they're going to do over here when they take power over here. They're already expressing dominance, aren't they, in certain aspects of things?
Well, the Israel that you big up, you got 1.5 million displaced. Yeah, where are they going to ask for refugee status?
Displaced? What do you mean displaced? Displaced? What do you mean
displaced? By that? Displaced.
Go on. What do you mean?
Well, in the map that I showed just now. Where I showed Tyre, where I showed Beirut.
60 years old, half blind. I can't see that. A fucking map. Explain that map. So they're displaced.
The Greater Israel project.
Listen, the Greater Israel. I think Israel's a beautiful country, and I think they got every single right to have their own independence in that country, as they do Palestine. But I think Palestine should be free from Hamas, not Israel.
Stop Christians! Stop Christians! Stop Christians from the Holy Sepulchre! Stop Christians from going to the Holy Sepulchre!
Who does? The Jewish?
Israel, yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they did.
Well, go out there and do it. Rather than sitting, try and do it. This is what I say to a lot of people. Why don't you get off your ass, get on that plane and go and visit the countries? Do you know something? There's a Muslim guy who actually went out to the West Bank and Palestine, and he was actually saying how different it actually is from the actual bullshit what was being produced on telly. And most of the problems out there is not from Israel.
Well, I watch quite a few Jewish channels. Yeah,
listen, we're never going to agree.
I watch quite a few Jewish channels. I also watch Jewish people. Yeah,
they got
that actually celebrate Christ. Yeah, they actually celebrate Christ. Yeah. Right now, they're condemned by their government. They're condemned by their government.
What is what do you call it? It's someone who believes in Israel. So what is it? You just use that word. I can't think of that fucking word. Might have been smoking puff and I'm a bit stoned. The Greater Israel. The word what you call the Israelis for someone who's preaches all they want to believe in. If someone believes in that country is theirs by right, then they're a
Zionist.
Zionist, that's it, Zionist. They're a Zionist because they believe that their country should have its own independence and its own rights.
Well, I mean,
no more, no less.
The word Zionist is a misconception. A misconception
of what?
Of a word. Yeah.
What's the word?
What it actually means is means the sacrifice of a Jew, yeah, so that the Zogs, the Zionists, have a country. They don't give a fuck about the Jews, yeah. They don't care about the Jews.
This is what we're on about, life. Do people give a fuck about us in this life, like me and you in this community? Do you think fucking Keir Starmer gives a fuck about us? No, they don't. No, they don't. It's a poem of prophecy.
I'm Cornish living in Cornwall. You're a Jew living in London.
Yeah, but you've got Islamic ties. I haven't.
I've got Jewish ties as well.
Have you? So you're fucking 4B2 and all then?
No, my cousin married a Jew. My cousin married a Jew. My cousin married a Jew.
It gets better, doesn't it? Eh? Big up the Jews. Big up the 4B2s. It's what it is. Like that. It's a mad old world. How do you see the direction of the world? What do you think the outcome of all this is going to be?
That the Zionists will win.
And achieve? What would they achieve?
Unless Iran turns onto glass.
I don't think Iran can do that. What do you think of Iran when it belongs to the Persians in 1979? Don't get me wrong, us, like a load of cunts, like we did in India, right? We allowed what happened to happen over there. And in Afghanistan, when it was very liberal country. Now, liberalism, I like liberalism, and I believe freedom of everyone. And people should be able to express themselves how they want to express themselves, not be suppressed by any kind of religion or anything to do with that.
I know Blunt, he ain't got a clue. I don't even think he's a fucking small lad anyway, because he doesn't even know what the fucking Talmud is.
So you're reading your chat as opposed to talking to me. You're reading your chat.
Well, chat lives matter.
Chat lives matter. Don't underestimate what I know and what I don't know. I'm understanding you. I don't talk these words. I don't preach nothing what you're preaching. So I'm trying to get a perspective on what you're talking about. That's all.
You came on the panel claiming that you're fucking.
Oh, here we go. Victim claiming.
No, you came on the panel claiming that you were Jewish. You came on the panel claiming that you're Jewish. Yeah, you don't even know what your Sanhedrin is. You don't know what your Talmud is.
I believe in my own.
But strange. You know what the Hadiths are. You know what the Hadiths are, and you know what the Quran is.
What does that tell you? Am I a Muslim in disguise, undercover? Come on, I don't come on.
Well, there's plenty of Israelis that are Muslim in disguise, isn't there?
At the end of the day, you're just waffling what you read from your propaganda left-wing newspapers. And
why am I reading from newspapers?
Because you can't explain yourself to me. I've
read true history. I've read true history. Right now,
enlighten me.
No, when I was in school, yeah.
When was that? What year was that?
Long time ago. Yeah. Right, yeah. Modern world history. I'm sitting there doing my modern world history. Yeah, I was grounded. Yeah, we had family coming over, predominantly my cousins. Yeah,
from where?
From Germany. Yeah, so they were coming over, right? So predominantly my cousins.
Or was it all in one at that time?
It doesn't matter. Dusseldorf, all right, West Germany, right? So they were coming over, right? Now I'm sitting there doing my modern world history. Yeah. Now, my cousin's mother-in-law asked if she could have a look at my books. Yeah, my history books. So she's going through my history books, and she says, "No. You know, all this is lies. This is lies."
Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Right. So I go back.
What was lies? What was the lies?
What was the lies?
Yes.
Do you not know your history?
I know my history, but I want to understand what was the lies. You're
the whole lies about World War II. The whole lies about World War II.
What's the lie about World War II?
Well, if you go through other videos and other lies that I've done, then you'll find out. I'm not prepared to sit here and go through it all over again.
Are they all members only? Are they all members only?
No, they're not members only.
Right. Well, I might.
I don't put mine through. I don't.
So come on, enlighten me then. I'm here now. Talk to me now, not about 3.5 Just talk now. What happened?
The whole lie about why we went to war. Why did we go to war?
I don't know. Tell me. Was it Franz Ferdinand? The end.
No, it was because. No, it's because Judea declared war on Germany, and because Churchill took a massive bung from the Jews, yeah, to start the war.
Them fucking Jews, they're cunts, aren't they? Like, they are bars. So how did he do this then? Where were the Jews placed to do that? Because they had no country then, did they? And I know
they had their country before World War fucking II. They had their country before World War II. It's called the Russian Blast. No, they were given their country, the Russian Blast. Yeah.
I thought it was the what was that? Oh fucking hell. What are they called? World War, the Muslim group from Turkey. Fucking hell, I can't remember. I will think of it. So you're the one leading the way here. So I don't know. So you're educating me. So come on. I'm just having a hit, by the way.
Why do I need to educate you?
Because I want to understand your mindset.
I can't educate pork, can I?
Pork. Big up pork. I love pork. Do you like pork?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, do you like beef?
Yeah.
Yeah, good man, good man. Big up pork and beef. Big up the pork and beef. So what are you saying? I'm thick.
Well, if you don't understand,
I don't understand.
And if you haven't watched any of my lives before, then you would understand. I go through the true history.
Yeah, but you go through, and what I'm doing is questioning that on your life to understand.
What was the crystal knack?
The crystal knack? I don't fucking know. What is the crystal knack? What is that? Tell me. Come on.
You know what a crystal knack? Not a broken glass.
Is it broken glass? I'd spell knack with an N. Okay.
N-A-C-H-T.
Oh, T. Knack.
You're Googling it.
No, I'm not Googling. Why do I want to Google it? Why would I Google it?
You're asking me to talk to you about history. You're asking me to talk about history when you don't even know history.
Yeah, I don't know. I know history. That's what I said to you. I know history, but I want to understand your history, because all what you're doing, what you're quoting to me here, is everything what you learned at school. So you're saying that the school was lying to you, but you learnt this at school.
No, I got ungraded modern world history because I put my name on it.
Right, but did you learn about
and
the
never bothered? No.
The light of broken glass. But you didn't learn that at school. So what led you into looking into that?
Lots of things. Have you not listened to, have you not seen any of the videos or documentaries I play on here?
Well, documentaries are documentary. I do understand the documentaries, but I like to understand things from I like to ask why. What is that about? Why would they say certain things? I'm trying to ask you. You ain't even got a clue what you're fucking talking about to me. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of.
I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. Okay, all right.
You're going by textbook. What you're telling me was all a lie.
I ain't going by textbooks.
Well, who educated you then?
Eh?
Who educated you, Myla?
Myself. Lots of documentaries and research.
Research. Yeah, but do you ever question anything you're looking at from an opposing view? So I stay right in the middle, mate, and I like to understand why, what, before I preach anything, which I don't preach nothing, because there's nothing worth in this world worth preaching about. But I'm trying to understand your take on what you preach about, but you don't even seem to know what you're preaching about unless you revert back to the fucking transcripts what you've pre-written down to quote from. So that tells me, in reality, you know fuck all about fuck all.
Well, I suggest you go and watch some videos.
Possibly. But anyway,
he who claims to be a Jew but is not. He who claims to be a Jew but is not.
I'm not a Jew. Yeah. I'm not a fucking Jew. Like I said, I am someone who is a strong believer in God and Jesus, but I don't believe in the doctrine what's prescribed to me.
Well, if you believe in Jesus, then you're an idolatrist.
An idolatrist. Go on, what does that mean? Tell me what that means, idolatrist.
Then you worship a false idol.
Why do I? What then? Who's the true idol?
Well, that's the Jewish doctrine, isn't it? You worship a false idol.
True idol. Tell me who's the, forget Jews, but who's the true idol? Who should I worship?
I don't know. I'm not Christian. I'm agnostic.
Agnostic. Just like your
over the last 12 months, I've done a lot of Bible reading.
Have you? Any good?
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it? Some of it's good. Mm. What do you think about the Revelations? I like the Revelations. I think they're really enlightening, certain aspects of Revelations. And like, do you think we're being played out like now? Do you think life's being played out like the Bible?
What? Because they wrote a particular Bible, they funded a particular Bible, they had it printed at the Oxford Press, and now they're playing by it.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah. And that's what they seem to be playing now. Is it Hearts and Minds campaign? Hearts and Minds, you must understand that terminology. You've done World War I, World War II. Hearts and Minds, big campaign that was. Wins wars. As does disinformation.
Block me. Why are you asking to be blocked?
Forget the chat.
Well, who's talking about the Bible? Who's the one shouting about Amalek? Who's the one shouting about everything?
So now you use your words to distract. I was asking you then the perspective, but you started talking to the track, but then you come back with a different change in the what we were talking about previously. So
no, you're talking about Bible. You're talking about the Bible being played out. Yeah. I'm saying, who's talking about the Bible playing out? Who's the actual person?
Well, what I'm interpreting.
Who's the one shouting about the Bible? Who's the one shouting about the Bible?
Well, it's being played out, I'd say.
Yeah, but who's the one shouting? Who's the person that's standing there with his big stupid ears? Yeah.
I don't know. Enlighten me. Again.
And it's grey comb over. Yeah.
Who's got a grey comb over? Not me. I'm blonde, mate.
That's Polish. That's Polish. Called Milikowski.
Milikowski. Oh, fuck, mate.
That changed his name. That changed his name. That his dad changed his name. Yeah. To say to Netanyahu.
What do you think of him? What's his name? That Green Party. Do you like the Green Party?
I think he's very gay and he can't run.
I think he's I agree with you with that. Right, I'm a little bit more safe with that. What do you think of Tommy Robinson? Or Stephen Yaxley, as people call him. What do you think of Tommy?
A shill.
A shill?
Yeah.
But he's not Jewish.
He claims to be a Zionist, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He travelled. He never claimed to be. Go on, play it to me now where he claims to be a Zionist. Right. I believe in...
I'm a Zionist. If Israel ever goes to war, I'll be probably the one that starts this war after this live stream, but I will fight for Israel. That was his exact words. That's his exact words. Right? When he got arrested because the Jewish, the Jewish border deputies didn't want him there at their march, yeah. So they got him ousted.
He was over there, wasn't he? He was over there.
I'm talking about in London, yeah. So he got a bit of mace in the eyes, yeah.
Who squared him up? For a fucking liberty. I think he's a patriot to this country.
See, what do you know if you don't know? You don't know nothing.
What do you mean I don't know nothing? Yours is quoting to me things what you've read.
No, I was watching it. I was watching it live. Didn't have to watch it. And Richard Inman going, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? He's a Zionist. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you arresting? He's a Zionist.
Right, let's hit the crunch of the questions now, right? Why do you hate Jews?
Who said I hate Jews?
That's how you perceive yourself.
I don't hate Jews. Why do I hate Jews?
Because that's how you perceive yourself. That's the perception I get from you. Oh, nah, you ain't used this, you ain't used that. They've done this, they've done that. Greater Israel is... Do you think the Greater Israel and how it builds itself out, do you think that is invading other people's territory? Or do you think that was Jewish land right from the start?
It was never Jewish land right from the start.
Whose land was it?
Hey?
Whose land was it?
Well, it wasn't Jewish.
Well, whose was it?
Go back to the Bible. You claim to read the Bible.
Know,
Go back to the Bible. Read the Bible.
Smile and listen. I'm going right. See you later.
Who was the first? Who was the first leader? Who was the first leader? Who was the first leader of Israel? Who was the first leader of Israel? The first leader of Israel claimed that the Palestinians belonged to that country. The Khazarians don't belong to that country. The European Jews that are in that country now don't belong to that country. They have no DNA that goes back to the Abrahamic faiths. Yeah, something like that. It was a Sanhedrin, wasn't it? Or the Sagittarians. What are they called? Sagittarians or Sadducees or something like that. But I'm going to have to finish my video about the Shekinah, the davening. I'm going to have to finish that. Then I'll go into the Khazarians and the European Jews and who lives in Israel now, who's led Israel since its creation. Hey up, die. Haven't seen you for ages. Yeah, he definitely rage quit, didn't he? He wanted me to say that I hate Jews. I don't hate Jews. Just dislike the people that run Israel, you know. And what I mean, like Blunt's put in there, the main cause of anti-Semitism is due to Jewish behaviour, which isn't Jewish behaviour. It's the leaders of their country that claim to be Jews that are not. They're the synagogue of Satan. Now, the synagogue of Satan video, I started that ages ago. But it takes ages and ages and ages to like edit videos and do videos. It takes ages to do them. Jumps on the panel, claims to be a Jewish person, ain't got a clue about the Talmud. Knows everything about the Quran. Yeah, that's what it threw me, and he come here with a narrative, and he got his fucking ass handed to him. It's like, you know, why have I got to go round and round and round in circles on history? I mean, what was I reading today? I got given 20 passages. Quran 65.4, the Quran 4.3, 4.24, 4.34, 24, 33. I mean, one of them is number 10. That was kill and be killed for Islamic error. That's Quran 9.5. Well, we were taught kill or be killed in the army. So we weren't learning it out of the Quran, were we? Steal and rob from non-Muslims. Well, you've also got that in the Talmud, haven't you? Fight non-Muslim. Well, you've also got that in the Talmud. Call non-Muslim pigs and apes. Well, what are we called? The Goyim. So, I mean, a lot of these, there's 20 passages in different chapters of the Quran. I've got a Bible, but I haven't got a Quran. So I'm going to have to ask for a Quran, aren't I? But then I know that the translations aren't good. So when they translate it, they aren't good. The same as the Bible translations weren't good, neither were they. Crazy. He really didn't like what I was going to say about Donald, does he? Or even update on what's going on. Love thy neighbour, or turn the other cheek. But if a man strikes a man, he may strike him back. I quoted that in court as a defence. They weren't happy about that after they made me swear on the Bible. So I said, Your Honour, you made me swear on the Bible. Now, in the Bible, passage so and so and so and so, it says there, if a man strikes another man, the other man may strike him back without basically an eye for an eye. But they didn't like that. I asked them, well, why did you make me swear on the Bible then? You make me swear on the Bible, but then you don't believe what Bible scripture says. So I was arguing with him, and it was like, I'm gonna do you for contempt of court in a minute. I just kept saying, why ask me to swear on the Bible? Now you don't have to swear on the Bible, do you? Back then, but everybody, it didn't matter. You had to swear on the Bible, tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, didn't you? So help me God. Now you can be made an MP and you can do your is it called a Hippocratic oath? Is it called what's it called when they become an MP and they swear to uphold or whatever it is, you know, and they do that. How come Mahmood? How come she's allowed to swear on the Quran? So she swore on the Quran. Yeah, we had a regimental chaplain die. Yeah, great guy. He was funny as well, you know. Especially in adverse conditions. Who's that? Yeah, they do. The chaplain does a lot for families. Right. Bear with, I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link, but I'm going to put the kettle on at the same time, so bear with. I've heard ya, but I'm standing here making my coffee a minute. Can you hear me? Didum, didum.
You good, man?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, you?
Yeah.
What are you talking about tonight? What's the subject?
I was showing the Donald Trump live speech.
Right. What did he say?
Waffle, 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 waffle.
Usual shit then.
Yeah, just waffling on. Bigger, better. Climbed a mountain like you'd never seen before. Rugged, lots of trees. Lived in a cave. It's a perfect movie script it was. For the rising of the colonel.
What's happening, buddy? I love Michael. He's a sound guy, Michael. Do you know Paducah? Do you know Paducah, Smile? Do you know Paducah?
Paducah? Yeah, what's her other name?
Boring. Paducah. I hope for some reason she changed it to that. Andrew is a non full of self-pity. Jason is a fat fuck in a fucking wheelchair and a gay fucking breaker.
He ain't in a wheelchair.
Mobility scooter then.
He ain't got a fucking scooter. He's got a fucking Rolls Royce of scooters, man.
Yeah, sure. Jason, wind your neck, any fat fucks.
Yeah, he's got the Rolls Royce of scooters. He has big wheels and all.
Yeah, 19 inches.
Yeah, he got alloy wheels. He got alloy wheels and fucking low profiles. He has. And he likes doing it and runs the first time he drove it.
old grannies on the fucking pavement. Fucks. Jason, I tell you what, son, you are a fat fuck. I think I said it before, but what you did stick up for company, so I give you the benefit of that. I still think you're a fucking wanker. Anyway, Swiler, how you been, mate?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Getting there.
You talking to Zara again, yeah?
Hey?
You talking to Zara again?
We've never not stopped talking to her.
Did, didn't you? For a while.
24 hours?
That's not a while, is it?
I mean, that could be one message from another message. That could be, you know.
I don't know. Probably I was just saying, like, fucking general YouTube fucking chit chat shit.
I don't generally talk about YouTube when I talk to her, unless it's on a panel. Don't generally talk to her about YouTube.
What's up? She'd be fucking, what's happening? What the fuck is he saying?
Well, at the moment, it's been mostly about cars for her son because he's just passed his test. So
he's about 18 now, isn't he, son?
Yeah.
Like I didn't pass my test. I was 22, I think. 21, 22. Where do you live then, Smiler? Cornwall.
Sunny Cornwall.
Sunny Cornwall. How far away is that from Ilfracombe?
Ilfracombe? Well, quite a way.
Yeah. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
We think, well, Swansea building thingy, ferry straight across. I know we got one to Ilfracombe. Yeah, Swansea got loads of fucking plans, whether they all come fucking true or not, you know. I think.
I used to run a boat down in Falmouth from a family that was from Swansea. They were from Mumbles, they were.
Mumbles, yeah, not far from here.
Yeah, they had a tackle shop on the quay.
Tackle? On where?
On the quay.
Narbrook?
No, they were called Hughes. I don't know what the tackle shop was called. Their fishing boat, the first boat was called the Girl Allison, and the second boat was called the Girl Allison 2.
Oh. I know every tackle shop on it.
They were called the Hughes.
Hey?
They were called the Hughes. Called the Hughes. I used to call them Welsh Wizards. Ray and Steve. No, that was son and father. And then the granddad, but the granddad sadly passed away.
No, yeah.
But they moved from Swansea down to Falmouth. Oh God. 28 years ago.
Right. Yeah, that 1998. Yeah, thank you for sending me them files through with Tyrone and what was said in the fucking in a WhatsApp group.
Yep.
Bro.
No words.
Andrew, you wait, what? Pull yourself together, man. We're just gonna stay at Lemon. The fuck does that mean? Stay at Lemon.
I ain't no clue.
No, fuck. Oh, Jason, you are thick fuck something. Andrew, you wait, like, pull yourself together, man. We're just gonna stay at Lemon. Pause. So, where do you come from? Simon Reverence, is it?
Reverend Simon Sideways?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richly and Dafter's Discord, of course.
Oh, Dafter, yeah.
Because
I thought yeah.
Met Dafter when he was co-hosting with Rev.
Ah, right. Yeah, because he used to have a few people around his house, didn't he? Rev, huh?
Yeah. Couple of times a year.
What do you think of that CPO in it? Fucking hell. Wow. She's a fucking melt, isn't she?
Liability.
I don't like to badmouth her because of her fucking disabilities, but wow, she's not right in the head. She's a bit dangerous. I wouldn't say dangerous, but thick.
Well, the way she was attacking the two 16-year-old lads was stupid.
When was that?
You know, it was a few days ago, wasn't it? I think Jamie was playing a video last night.
Yeah, I don't like him very much anymore. I used to get on with him, but the way he treated Tyrone, he can fuck off now. What does lemon mean, Jason?
Bit of lemon? I don't know.
Bit of lemon. Oh. I think he means alright. In lemon. Oh, freedom awaits. Fucking don't taunt me. Fuck you. Want to counter reference? You fuck me, son. Don't even go there, boy. Fucking hell, man. Are you fucking serious, man? Fucking hell. You look like a right bellend, freedom awaits. Fucking hell. Off in Vega. Fucking hell. Oh, you're the biggest wally on the planet, Jason. Don't even get me fucking started. Freedom, for fuck's sake, man. Sort your fucking head up. Jason, half and half.
Freedom's right. It's
I know, but
he's living the best life. He is.
I tell you what it is, Spoiler. It's he was calling Vega out. And he put his camera on, and Vega's Vega, isn't it? He's always going to wind every kind of freedom bites so much to Vega. He's just really like Wally of himself.
Don't say his name 3 times because it'd be fucking here.
I always used to say I smile. I was with Crinkle, fucking say Crinkle's name. Where's that little cunt? Where's he now? I ain't seen that.
I don't know. Perhaps somebody took his fucking AI off of him.
Oh, he's in fucking the nick. Okay.
I just made one, Jay.
Coffee, I want coffee. No, I tell you what, Jason, get your bottle of fucking spirits out and make a right twat of yourself again.
Oh, there's a few that done that, though. Isn't there?
I do it all the time, Spoiler. Every time I fucking come on him, man. I used to.
Candyman die.
I remember that when that came up with.
Yeah.
It was a next missus of. I don't think you're a bad guy, Smiler. I think bit to lose, big to lose, something is questionable, but it's you know that doesn't really matter.
Who do I speak to?
Well, I don't know. You're in with AJ Smith Ministry. I like Ministry. I've fucking met Ministry. Zara.
I haven't spoken to AJ. Fuck me, man. When I did that live, when I did the free lives, when I sent you the email that I sent to Tyrone,
You don't speak to him anymore, do you?
Hey, no.
You don't speak to. He's a fucking wanker. He is.
Ministry's been in the chat a couple of times. I spoke to him on the WhatsApps a couple of times just to confirm things.
Right. Yeah. That's all history, you know. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's history. I think it's a lot of it's been dragged up again on the other side because of the particular person that was sharing all the information with Zara Zara was then sharing everywhere else.
Oh, I had PP back. Yeah. Sorry, PP. Come back, mate. You know who PP, isn't it?
Yeah, PP was on here just now.
Oh, is he? I'm still running my life.
He rage quit.
Oh, why? Why?
I don't know. Come on here telling me he was a Jew and then...
Well, he was a Jew.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he was trying to get some sort of rise out of me.
Right.
I don't think it went the way he planned.
I didn't see it, so I can't comment. I like PPA and I like you, Smiler, so I don't.
I don't know him. That's the first time I've been on a panel with him.
Yeah, PPA's normally out. Politics, you know, they're always fucking divided in fucking politics. That's why I don't like talking about fucking politics. You know, it's like all these fucking protests. You can protest to your fucking heart's consent, and you can say this or do that. Nothing's gonna fucking change. There's only one people who are gonna change it. It's the fucking government and the fucking royal family. There's no point. They're gonna do whatever anyway. Like, all the fucking masons.
Protests. I mean, protests don't mean a shit. I mean,
no. There's only one thing. There's only one thing. Go on.
I've said for years, if you want to protest, right, get organised, get all the trucks, get all the toilets, get all the shower blocks, get all the food wagons, right, get all the wagons, pull onto Parliament Square, block the whole of Parliament Square off, and hold a big massive protest on Parliament Square where you can't fucking, and it's all blocked off by lorries, and you shut down London, you shut down.
Yeah, it ain't gonna make a difference.
Well, it won't make no difference. But that's the only protest. No planning permission, no asking for permission to do it, and just do it. You know, like the truckers convoy in Canada. Just go and do it. Shut the whole of London down. You know, with lorries.
Yeah, yeah.
Just have a big sit-in. You know.
Yeah. Just, you know, the whole of the UK has to come together and take the House of the Parliament. You know, that's the only way that it would take like 5 million or 10 million to overpower them.
But the UK will never come together because the UK is completely divided anyway.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they fucking wanted. That's exactly what they got. And they always do. And nothing will ever fucking change that. You can protest to the heart's consent. You know, you can have 5, you can have 6, you can have 3, you can have 4, you can have 10 people on the panel. And everybody's got a different view and different perspective, and everybody's falling out on a panel. Yeah.
So, you know, if you can't have 10 people on a panel, you know.
Well, it's 10 million. But that's exactly what I'm saying. It has to be 10 million people on the same side who want the same fucking thing, you know. It's not going to happen, is it? It's the only thing that will work.
Well, how many people voted for Brexit and we still haven't got Brexit?
Yeah, that was another. Yeah, I was all up for Brexit because of the fucking immigrants and shit. That didn't turn out very good, did it?
Well, no, it just fucking opened the country to them, didn't it?
Yep.
Boris wave.
Yeah, they got this in every which way they want us, basically. Always have and always fucking will.
But every person that stands in Parliament is pretty much a puppet of somebody else, aren't they? If they aren't Labour Friends for Israel or Conservative Friends for Israel, then the fucking Muslim Brotherhood, you know.
It was the fucking, you know, like.
Bring back the Acts of Settlement, 1701, no foreign person should be in our government.
Ah, fuck, I'm trying to film this fucking trailer.
They are, Paul.
Alright.
I was just saying politicians everywhere are corrupted. They are.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. It's the same as the police force. You start as a 18, 19, same as a politician. You start off with good intentions and you get more corrupt as the fucking years go on, because you learn how corrupt them bastards are and you learn from their behaviour, and it goes on and on and on and on.
Well, what is it? They after a minimum of 2 years, they become Masons, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and then circle.
You've got the Masons, you've got the Fabians.
Ah, Smiler. Why am I drinking again, man?
Because you can. I don't know.
Because life's a cunt. That's why. Yeah, that fucking Lammy. That's nothing I want to say. That Lammy. What a bellend. You should never have said that about your fucking brother. Look. Never. Fucking arsehole.
It is what it is, isn't it?
It is.
It is what it is.
I won't be speaking to him again. Personally. He's gone too far now. He's gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
to attack my daughter, I'm the first one to call out fucking all religions. Not one religion, fucking all religions. All these other people have got an agenda where they only call out one religion. I call them all out.
I don't know. Religion. It's the root to all wars, religion. Religion and money. I don't know, it's what you, in my eyes, it's what you believe in. We're obviously being overrun by fucking Muslims. And it's fucking madness, absolute madness. Eastern Europeans, fucking Muslims, Africans. We're just being overrun, taken over. In front of our own fucking houses. Fucking crazy.
It was, Jay, I agree. It was 100 questions, but he wasn't prepared to listen to the answers.
Who was that?
PP.
Oh, PP. He was just, oh God, under a blade blue sky. Oh Jesus. I'll be back now.
Right. Crash bang, wallop. I don't know what he expected me to say, Jay. I ain't got a clue. It's like he wanted me to admit something that I ain't.
Is that why PP came backstage, is it? I don't know.
He was on the panel for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know he came backstage on my live as well. I didn't see it.
And he's still live streaming here.
Yeah.
You got my mate Uber's in your chat.
Yeah. Do you know what? He didn't even know. He said, "Big up the Irish. It's St. Paddy's Day." I said, "What's March the 1st?" He hadn't got a clue what March the 1st was. For fuck's sake. You know what March the 1st is, isn't it?
No, go on.
St. David's Day, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah.
Fucking thick as fuck he is. Oh god. God, let's have an argument, spoiler. Let's fucking it's no fucking Axel Bellin's not live. Well, he is live, but he's playing a stupid fucking game.
Who's live?
Axel.
No, I didn't go there.
No, I don't know. I just want to fucking
not so.
I want an argument with someone.
You want an argument with someone?
Yeah.
Why
It's
do you want an
fucking
argument
boring.
with someone?
I'm bored, mate. I'm fucking bored.
What's the point of having an argument?
I don't know. Good point.
Arguing on YouTube is nothing but frustration anyway, because you can't get hold of the person.
Yeah.
If it is an argument in a pub, then it's like fucking step outside, boom, boom, pick the person up and go in and buy them a pint, or tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, basically that's where my head's at now, Smiler. That's where my head is at now. I don't go out looking for the trouble or anything, but if it comes, it comes, and just deal with it. But don't know which my head's at the moment.
That's Mr. Artois. That's Mr. Artois.
I've only had a bottle of Prony and 2 cans of Stella. I don't feel like drinking.
No, it's good then, if you don't feel like drinking.
I do and I don't. I didn't feel like it, but I didn't want to, if you know what I mean.
Well, you'll get back. It's, you know, at the end of the day, it's up to you, isn't it? You'll either get back on the wagon again, or you'll, you know, won't.
Yeah. Yeah, I do plan. Like everyone keeps saying, this is a blip. It's a blip. So, but that just gave me an excuse to fucking drink more then, wasn't it? Okay, that's all right to have a drink. Fucking give the green light. Have a fucking drink. Why not? It's a blip. It's only a blip. I know. Did you ever watch the Suspect, Smiler?
No.
Yeah, you went wrong then, is it?
Well, I was, but I just never went there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, Fembay was an auditor before fucking he done all that shit. That's dark days. Well, not dark, but.
Yeah, I'll be going off in a minute, Freedom. Get something to eat.
Where is? Oh, Freedom. Who the fuck do you call this bastard, you bellend? Jesus. Oh,
I know people come out with some crackers, don't they?
They do. I suppose that's why I love YouTube. Like, it's just a bit of a wind up, isn't it? I know you do your political streams and shit, and they're boring sometimes to me, like. But if that's what you're interested in, that's what you're interested in. I could be interested in something you're not interested in, you know. I love Michael as well. Michael's a great guy. I like Michael. All right, I love you and leave you, Smiler. All
right, mate, you take it easy. I'm going to grab something to eat because the Trump thing went on for ages, and then PP came up for some sort of argument or whatever he came up for. So I've gone on longer than I was going to go on for anyway, because I was going to get something to eat earlier.
Yeah, food's good, man. Food's good.
Yeah. All right, you take it easy, Andrew.
All right, Smiler. Take it easy, bro.
All right, mate. You take it easy.
Freedom, Jason. Swimmer, bitches. See you, mate.
All right, I'll catch you all later. Catch you all in a bit. I might go live later and go through the hundreds of posts from Good Friday up until now, showing what mainstream media don't show. All right, catch you in a bit, Di. What mainstream media doesn't show. Donald Trump waffling and waffling and waffling.
The powers that be control information. Information is power. Truth only survives together. They don't want this shared, so share it. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Thank you.